Little by little about each of the Lykovs: loneliness, an exhausting struggle for existence, monotonous life, clothes, food, harsh forms of religious prohibitions, the same prayers, an extremely closed world. Finally, genes, it would seem, should make people extremely similar, as they are similar to one another incubator chickens. Indeed, there are many similarities. And yet each had his own character, habits, a sense of his eye on a small, only 6 steps, hierarchical ladder. Everyone had their own favorite and unloved work, their abilities to understand the same phenomenon were different, well, and a lot of other things that are usually of interest to sociologists and psychologists. It's not easy to say about each one. 4 of them are gone, only memories. Karp-Isipovich, in the world he would undoubtedly have reached considerable heights. In the countryside he would be no less like a collective farm chairman, and in the city he would go up the hill. By nature, from birth, a leader. And you can feel even now, when years have humbled a person, the place of a boss, not in the sense of a position, but in the sense of a beginning, the head of something, is necessary for nature. He was the head of the Lykovs community at the Zymka. He took people even further, to the Cairo River. In the dramatically difficult 30s, he decided to move away from the world as deep as possible into the taiga. His wife Akulina Karpovna meekly followed him with 2 children in her arms. In the family, Karp-Isipovich was both a father and the same strict boss. He and only him were to be obeyed in work, in prayers, in food, in relations with each other. Agafia calls him Tityenka. The 3 dead children were also called, although Savin was about 60. The old man supported his beginning in every possible way. Tityenka didn't dig potatoes, Agafia said, not in condemnation of her father, but with an understanding of his place in the affairs of the family community. His sons wore on their heads something like monastic hoods made of canvas, while his father dressed himself a high hat made of musk deer camas. It was something like Monomach's cap, which asserted his power in the tiny kingdom he had formed. In his 80 years, Karp-Isipovich is vigorous. He does not complain about anything in health, except that he has become deaf. But, as I could see, the old man regulates deafness. When a question is incomprehensible to him, or, perhaps, unpleasant, he pretends not to hear. And on the contrary, everything that interests him truncates, as Agafia said, very clearly. In conversation, the old man is constantly on the alert. He himself does not ask questions, he only listens or shows judgment. But there was still one question. How is it in the world? He asked me after another anathema to Nikon and Tsar Alexei Mikhailovich. I said that the big world is not calm. And he felt, the answer to the old man, lay like a balm on his heart. The uneasiness of the world imparted the old man's peace of mind. A non-stupid, but dark person, undoubtedly, is sometimes visited by a thought, cold and dangerous, like a snake for a bare foot. Was life lived right? The old man did not lose his curiosity. Visiting geologists delights the soul with conversation and looks everywhere. Karp-Isipovich was not afraid to enter the helicopter, but refused to get up. Not a Christian cause. Of all that could amaze him, in the first place should be put not electricity, not an airplane, before his eyes, once took off from a spit, not a receiver from which Pugacheva's woman's sinful voice was heard. What struck him most of all was a transparent plastic bag. Lord, what they have invented is glass, but it crumples. I ask you to share these videos in your social networks, using the buttons under the video, and subscribe to the channel. I ask you to go and watch other videos about Agafia Lykova, which you now see on the screen in the end screensaver.